going to break down the top 5 best teams that you are going to want to use in Madden 21 to win more games. Now, I'm going to break down each team's best players and also the abilities that each team has that you're going to want to maximize to win the most games you possibly can when you're playing Madden 21. So before we get, I do want to remind you guys that if you're liking the content here, please consider subscribing to the channel and dropping us a like, turning your notifications on. It really does help us out a lot. If you guys want to get better at Madden 21, you can head over to sportsgamers.com. In the meantime, for the best offensive, defensive tips, ebooks, and memberships you can find anywhere else at a great price. So, starting at team number 5. Honestly, this spot was a little bit hard for me to decide. I'm ending up with the Seahawks. The reason why I like the Seahawks a lot is because, well, first of all, offensively, they have Russell Wilson, and we'll go over their abilities in a second here. But, Russell Wilson is a great quarterback. I like mobile quarterbacks always. They, especially with the abilities that came into play the last year and this year as well, getting out of the pocket and being able to throw on the run is huge. You guys can see he has good throw power and good throw accuracy too. He's just, he's a very good quarterback. On regs, he's one of the best ones you can find. He's top notch. Their running backs are okay. They're not really like amazing, but they do the job. But the biggest thing I like about them on offense is their receivers. They have 3 receivers, 93 plus speed, and all of them are pretty good. They're not just completely bums that are just fast. No, they're mostly good receivers for the most part for regs. Olsen, very good tight end. So, we have a lot of weapons on offense. The O-line is solid. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. You guys can see we do have a pretty good tackle over here. Some decent guards. Honestly, the right tackle is the weakest spot, in my opinion, of this O-line. So you have to be aware of that. Now, defensively, their D-line is no longer that great. Their D tackles are okay, but the place I really like them on defensively is their linebackers. So if you like to play a 3-4 base, they actually have some pretty good pass rushing linebackers with speed, like Irvin and Wright and Griffin. Griffin doesn't look like he'd be that great of a rusher, but because he's so fast, he actually is. Wagner is an absolute beast, and this Brooks guy, he's solid, he's fast. So they got some great linebackers. Their secondary, solid. They have speed, and really the main thing they have is Jamal Adams. So guys, look at the Seahawks' abilities. You'll see that you got Bobby Wagner. He's the main guy on defense with Jamal Adams. Wagner is going to be an enforcer and tackle supreme. So, he's going to get a lot of hit sticks, cause some fumbles. He's really good in the run game with out my way too. And, he's not going to miss tackles with tackle supreme. So that is huge. And Avalanche, man, if you activate that actually gets a ton of fumbles. So that's a great ability to have. Like I said, Jamal Adams, he also has Avalanche. So you can get these guys activated, man, you can cause some fumbles. He has Enforcer, which again is a lot of hit sticks. The Stonewall, that's going to essentially make sure that when you get a tackle animation that they don't go forward. And the Flat Zone Knockout, these zone abilities are actually really good. They break on the ball really well. So if he's in a flat zone, he's going to play great in coverage. So that's why the Seahawks there, I like their team a lot. So moving on to number 4. This honestly was a pretty easy spot for me. I have the 49ers. So looking at their abilities first, Kittle, he is really, really, really good because he gets those 4 additional hot routes from any position, whether you put him at tight end or receiver. That really gives you a lot of options on offense. He's also very good on short routes, whether they're out routes or in breaking routes. He's going to get really good separation and catch the ball very well. Sherman, he is pretty slow, I'm not going to lie, but he has flat zone and deep out zone, abilities to play better coverage. So he's going to be really, really good in zone. You don't really want to man him up because he's so slow, but in zone, he is a beast. And actually, he has the chuck out ability too, which when he gets basically a chuck animation in zone, the receiver is going to lose stamina. He's going to get fatigued. Bosa, really, really good edge threat. You guys see my video about the pass rush moves and abilities. Edge threat is one of my favorites. I don't really like speedster, but he does have edge threat, so that's good. And he actually gets an extra pass rush point spot. So that's pretty solid. These guys, just better protection. This guy, Williams, he's going to give you better protection on the edge. He's a tackle. Armstead, he has the swim club. It's okay if you user it, but I don't really like it left alone. But it can definitely, be effective if you user it. And Warner, he's going to, play better coverage, catching wise against running backs, and also he's going to react better in mid zones. So now let's take a look at their actual roster. The 49ers are pretty solid. I mean, they have a good quarterback. He's not the best, but he gets the job done in Garoppolo. You always want to make sure that you at least have a serviceable quarterback. Like I said, he's not top-notch, but he will definitely do the trick. The biggest thing I like about their team, though, is their running backs, probably, offensively. They have 3 really good ones. Mozart, Coleman, and McKinnon all do the job. And especially, I really like to use multiple running backs this year, especially, subbing a running back in at receiver, so I can audible down to running sets. When you have two really good running backs with speed, that makes that really effective. Their fullback's actually pretty good. I don't really use him, but he's a good second tight end. Receiver-wise, honestly, the best thing about their receivers is they just have a lot of fast guys. J.J. Nelson, Tavon Austin, then they got some decent, Samuel, Bourne Pettis, they got some decent overall receivers, but to me, the best thing they have is speed. Obviously, we already went over Kittle. I mean, they have Jordan Reed too. So if you want to use 3 tight ends, you could use Reed, Kittle, and fullback. The fullback is a really good blocker, but he can also catch. Reed's more of a receiver. Their O-line is pretty solid. I mean, obviously, they have Trent Williams. Thomason, he's pretty good. Good center. I would say that the right side of the line is a little bit weaker with the guard, but even their right tackle is pretty good. So their O-line is very nice. They have a great defense overall. They have several good pass rushers with Ford, Armstead, Boza, Thomas. I mean, even Deion Jordan, he's a solid backup. They have Kinlaw, he's a rookie. You have to see how he does. But really good D-line. Linebackers with them getting Quan Alexander, and also, we've already seen Warner. He's pretty solid. He's a good player. And then Greenlaw, he's okay, but he's not bad either. Some good linebackers. Secondary, Sherman is the standout. They don't have much speed other than Mosley, and Witherspoon. Those are some good guys to put in the slot if you like to blitz. But, honestly, it's just mainly Sherman as far as the cornerbacks that stand out. I don't really like Williams. He's not that great. He's too slow, so normally I put him on the bench. Verrett is okay, actually, too. But I do like their safeties. Moore, he's a really good guy to user because he's so fast. He's not very good on his own, but he's so fast that if you user him, he's good. Ward's solid on his own. And Tart, he's solid on his own too. So for the third spot, we're going to go to the Ravens. And with Lamar Jackson on the cover, man, this is probably controversial, but I like them at number 3, and I'll explain why in a second. Now, obviously, they just cut Earl Thomas, so he's going to get taken off the roster. But he was a big part of their team, man. He was a great free safety. I think that's going to leave a hole. Before they cut him, I was considering moving them up a spot, but with him gone, they definitely have to stay at number 3. But they do have some great corners, and Humphrey, who's very fast. Peters is fast as well. Smith and Young, and then even Everett, however you say his name, Anthony Everett, I don't know. He's a backup, 93 speed though, so that's pretty solid. Their linebackers, their defense just overall is pretty solid. They don't have many holes. I mean, McPhee, he's not the greatest, but he actually, if you like to put him on the D-line, gets some good pressure. Queen, though, rookie from LSU. That's my team. Go Tigers. He is super fast. He is a great user. I mean, obviously, I know the user's slow this year, but having someone that's fast like that is great. Another really good pass rusher here. He's not the best in coverage, but he can rush the passer. So can Bowser. Brandon Williams, he's a great run stopper. Campbell, he is a great pass rusher and run stopper. He's actually one of the best D linemen in the whole game, in my opinion. And Derek Wolfe is solid, too. So, they don't really have many holes on defense. I guess you could say safety now that they released Earl Thomas. But Lamar Jackson, man, he is what makes this team go. He is so hard to stop because on the quarterback runs, he is just so fast. We'll get into his abilities in a second, but he can just break any play and be gone. He can throw. And, they also have some solid running backs. Ingram's not super fast, but again, he's solid. Their receivers, though, they have Hollywood Brown from Oklahoma, super fast. He's a burner. So they have speed. You can see that they have this rookie also from Texas that's got 92 speed. Snead is a solid slot guy. He's going to get open and catch the ball. He's nothing special. But then tight end wise, they have some good tight ends too. Andrews is really, really good. Boyle, he's a good backup. So their offense is really nice. I mean, Stanley, you can see he's a great player. Their O-line is, I would say, pretty good overall. I mean, there's no really weak spots, but their only really amazing player is Stanley. So let's look at their abilities now. So, looking at the Ravens' abilities, you see that their two best players are definitely Campbell and Jackson. Campbell, like I said, one of the best D linemen in the game, in my opinion, because he has one of the few guys that has the run-stopping abilities plus edge threat, which is a pass rush ability. So he's going to stop the run, and he's going to get pressure against the pass. So he's a dominant player. Lamar Jackson might be the best offensive player in the game. I mean, he has jukebox. He basically has fast break, which is great for the quarterback run. So he's going to be great on quarterback runs. He has escape artists, get out of the pocket in the pass. He has jukebox to make you miss an open field. He even has this tight out ability, which is going to allow the tight ends to pretty much catch the ball every time when they get open. All right? And finally, his X factor is he can't fumble when he's getting tackled. So you activate that, you can get wild with him. Left tackle Stanley, he's basically just a very good player. He's going to make it hard for the edge rushers to come free, which is big in a game with all these new pass rush moves. Humphrey, he plays good in, basically against deep routes and short routes. He's very solid corner. Thomas, he's not on the team anymore, so unfortunately he is no longer relevant. So, for the top two spots, man, I've gone back and forth on this. I wanted you guys to let me know what you think, but I have the Chiefs at number 2. This was a hard decision, but for the way the game plays right now, I think I had to put them at number 2. Obviously, Mahomes, he is an amazing player. He has all the dead eyes you could want. He has dashing dead eyes so he can throw perfectly on the run. And no looks so he can even throw a cross body. Escape artist so he can get out of there. Red zone, he's going to throw perfectly in the red zone. Bazooka, that's a great X factor because, it allows you to throw the ball much further. Kelsey, they gave him tight end apprentice this year, so now he has the extra hot routes at tight end. And that is just so awesome because now we have a team that has, the quarterback of all the dead eyes and escape artists, but also a tight end with the extra hot routes. And that is amazing. He is also a deep out elite, which means that on deep passes outside the numbers, he's going to be really, really effective. Leapfrog, I haven't really tried with him, but basically, he's going to be good at hurdling and he's not going to fumble. Double me, obviously, that's going to get aggressive catches and single coverage if you can activate it. Tyreek Hill, man, one of probably the best, I would say, receiver in the game or weapon other than a quarterback. He's going to get the jukebox and the grab and go, so he is going to be absolutely amazing in the open field, and he's also really good at the short type out routes. Obviously he has the speed, though, to burn you on anything. Tyrann Mathieu, great safety. He gets crazy animations if you use him because he's acrobat if you're trying to get user picks. He has the flat zone KO and short route KO, so he's going to basically be really, really good in flat zones or against any sort of short route. Chris Jones has El Toro. That is my favorite pass rush ability in the entire game. You can use El Toro and get instant wins and sacks if that's your thing immediately. He's also really, really good as far as if you're on the goal line, a goal line run defender. And also, he gets a higher or larger area of disruption when he's pressuring the quarterback. And also, they got a tackle that has the edge protector, so you can sub him in, move him around wherever you need to if you're playing up against a good pass rusher. So that's a great overall team, and they have a lot of great abilities. So just looking at the Chiefs team now, their actual roster, obviously you can see Mahomes, he's a 99 overall, man. You already saw his abilities. He has 81 speed, so he can get out of there. But his throwing stats is really what matter. If you take a look at them, he has 97 throw power and all in the 90s for their accuracy. So he's going to be basically perfect. You can't ask for any better. He's fast, and he has extremely high throw power, and his accuracy is just as good as it gets. So, in my mind, for me anyway, he's the best quarterback in the game as far as just the ability to be mobile and also just have such great throwing abilities. Now, so for their running backs, they don't have anyone who's amazing, but in my mind, they have 3 backs that can work. Williams, he's solid with 90 speed. Edwards, hilarious. He's actually a really good back out of the backfield catching the ball. He's not the fastest, but he definitely catches well and is shifty. And this is just another fast backup. So 3 solid running backs. This is actually Sherman, very good lead blocker. He's not big in my game, but he might be for you. But their receivers, man. Again, this is a crazy team for receivers. Hill, 96 overall, 99 speed. He's just an absolute glitch. You cannot cover this guy on regs. There's really no defensive player that matches up well with Tyreek Hill and Regs, man. It is crazy. Watkins, he's 91 speed and he's a reliable receiver. He's not as fast as other guys, but he gets the job done. Hardman, another 97 speed guy. He's got to be in the game for that speed alone. Then you look at their tight end. They got Kelsey. I mean, probably, in my mind, the best tight end in the game. And they even have good backup with 84 speed. So, I mean, they got it all on offense. Truly, they do. Their O-line is not the greatest, to be honest with you, other than Schwartz. But, I mean, it's not bad other than the center. You obviously, if you're playing against someone who's abusing the center, you can move Schwartz around. So that's the great thing about their team. And then their defense is really good, too. I mean, they got Chris Jones, who's a dominant pass rusher, especially with El Toro. And then they have some other decent players on the D-line. No one crazy other than, Frank Clark is pretty good. Okafor is okay, but it's mostly Clark and Jones as the D linemen I like. Linebackers, they actually have very good ones. They're not the greatest overall, most of them, but there's some fast guys. 85 speed here, another 84 speed guy, and then another 88 speed guy. So, overalls are not the best, but if you just want speed, they definitely have it. Now, their secondary is probably the weakest spot of the team other than, in my opinion, Matthew. Matthew's a great, great player. You already saw his abilities. He's fast. He's good overall. But other than that, they don't really have much. I mean, they have a backup who's 93 speed, but he's not very good. Their corners, just aren't that great. They're kind of slow and not that great overall. I mean, they got some decent speed, but nothing crazy. So, in my mind, the biggest weakness of their team is their secondary. Other than Matthew, there's just nobody really there. So, they got a great offense, defense. They got speed at linebacker, Matthew, and basically two good pass rushers. So, it's kind of why I had to knock them down to 2. But for number 1, the Bucs. And I would love, like I said, let me know what you guys think are your top 5. I got the Bucs at number 1, and that's just because, honestly, the way this game plays, they have, we'll go over in a second here, all the abilities I really want. Tom Brady, the way I'm playing this game right now, Hot Route Master is great. So I love that. I know he's not mobile, but he still does have great throw power and great, throw accuracy. And with his abilities, you'll see in a second here, it's going to work well. 90 throw power doesn't sound like the best, but it's still good enough on this game for the way it plays to make it work. They got some good fast running backs, nothing crazy, but again, 91 and 93 speed. For the way I play, that's fine. Jones is good enough. They're full, they don't even have one showing there. But Evans is absolutely absurd on this game, man. You'll see his abilities. He is basically unguardable. He's not the fastest, but I'm just telling you, he gets open and does not drop the ball. Goodwin actually is another great receiver because you'll see in a second here, Slot-O-Matic is a huge one in my opinion, and he's got good speed. And then they have a backup who's 94 speed. So really, what more can you ask for? Then again, tight ends, they got Gronk, great player. And Howard is a really good backup. He's 87 speed. They actually have 3 good tight ends because Brate's not bad either, especially for a third one. Their O-line is whatever. It's not the best, not the worst. They don't really have a standout, but they got some pretty solid players in Jensen and Marpet. And then, even their weaker players aren't that bad. Their tackles are probably the weaker spot. They got, just kind of, decent tackles. But defensively, they're actually pretty good. You want to really think it, but Su, he's a great D tackle if you want to put him there, or you can play D end. Vita Vea, he's very, very good too. He's going to make sure you stuff the run. So they got 2 really good D linemen. And then also, they got some good edge rushers. So me, I like playing these guys in a 3-4 because you got Pierre-Paul and then Barrett that you can put on the edge. And you'll see in a second here, Barrett is a really good player. He has some good abilities. And then Devin White and Levante David, they are both absolute goons. They even have backups that are fast, 88 speed backups. So, their linebackers are legit. Their secondary, I like them personally better than the Chiefs because while they might not be the best overall players, they're solid enough and at least they have speed. Okay, so you can see here 92, 93, that's fine. You put guys in the slot, 88, 89. Safeties, 89 speed, so nothing crazy here, 88, 89. But again, can get the job done. But really, I want to show you guys these abilities because the abilities on this team are also amazing, just like the Chiefs. Alright guys, so looking at the Bucs abilities, man, start with Evans, and this is what I was talking about. He is deep out elite and mid in elite, so he's going to get open all over the place. He's also a red zone threat too, so in the red zone, man, he's going to be a glitch. Tom Brady, Hot Route Master, Conductor, those are the 2 main things I really like. Fearless is good too because he's not going to be affected by pressure while he's in the pocket. And even Set, Feetly, when you set your feet, you get increased throw power with bullet passes. So even though his throw power is a little lower than it has been, I mean, that right there is enough to make it not matter so much. Like I said, the hot route master is so huge. I feel like just all those different hot routes, it really makes playing offense a lot easier if you have that ability. Gronk, he is effective just breaking tackles with Tank. He's good overall, but the red zone threat, again, I really like that on Evans and Gronk because anytime you get in the red zone, you have to worry about both of them because they're both pretty much going to catch everything that's close to them if they're even remotely open, and there's two guys with that, so this makes a really good team in the red zone. Now, Levante David, this is a huge ability, Lurker. You guys know the user has been slowed down. It's not that great this year, so like having a linebacker with Lurker to me is crucial and like just really good because you're going to get great animations. I've got some really good animations with him that I've not been able to give with any other linebacker I've used so far, and you also have the mid-zone KO too if you don't want to use him. Now, Goodwin. He has slot-o-matic, so he's very, very good in the slot. He gets open a lot. I love that ability. It's huge, and the mid-end elite is cool, but really slot-o-matic is huge because it's just good on any short route in the slot. And then finally, Barrett, edge threat. Again, I've gone over how good edge threat is. He gets really, really consistent pressure. So, guys, these are my top 5 teams. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.